And my girl caught on to it. Sisters catch on to shit.
Yeah.
My brother's very streetwise, but he didn't even catch on. He was just like, ah, man, stop, we'll figure something out. My girl, she was like, you stop thinking like that. I was like, fuck, she caught it quick. I said, yeah, don't worry about it. But so I went and took a walk around this neighborhood thinking that, I'm going to do it. I just want to figure out a way to. I don't want to shoot myself or hang myself or any of that nonsense. I was going to get the biggest pile of cocaine, but I got to figure out where to go, because I don't want to be found like that. And that's what I was walking and contemplating how, and then I started talking with God. I was like, God, if you don't want me to do this, you got to give me a sign. And it's got to be pretty obvious. I'm a dumb fuck, so you got to make it obvious. And, and I'm walking, the phone rings. It's not my phone, it's Rod's. So I look down, because I had used his phone. It ain't no number I recognize, so I got to get back now in case it's an important call for him. And I'm still walking, waiting for something to light up or some shit, like don't do it or something. And after the phone rang, I turned around and go back to the house. I got back to the door. I remember getting back to the door and saying, thank you. I didn't figure you'd help me, asshole. And I went in, told Rod, I said, man, your phone rang. I'm sorry, I got back as quick as I could. And he checked it. His eyes like lit up, and he was like, brother, this is for you. You need to hear it. And I get it. And it's Shawn Michaels, who we haven't talked at that point in like over 5 years.
Wow.
And this is my friend's phone. And Shawn is inviting me, he left a message, he was inviting me to go to AIM, which was Athletes International Ministry in Phoenix, Arizona. And I thought to myself, I was walking and praying, like, if you want to give me a sign, I mean, can you beat that? And he got the number, when I talked to him, I said, how did you get this number? He said, oh, some fan up in Ohio asked me if I'd talk to you. I said, I don't have his number. He goes, I got it. And he gave Shawn, a fan gave Shawn that number just a few days earlier. And he calls, during that talk with God, give me a sign. I mean, if that ain't a sign, I don't know what it is. So I did. I went to that ministry out in Phoenix, and, Shawn baptized me, dunked me in the water, and did all that. And for like 3 or 4 days, I was living a pure life.
And then on the fifth day.
Yeah, fourth or fifth day, I didn't feel it as much. Things fade away,
Right.
from the original, the feeling. It was like, that was a miracle. I told everybody, even in jail, I told that. But and the things fell apart. But the rocker reunion came out of that, because Vince heard about it, and he goes, oh, Marty's changed, let's bring him in, let's do a rocker reunion. And we did that. And I thought it went well. You was talking about, the Marty chant in 2005. Yeah. Damn, you asked that about an hour ago, didn't you? and this is how it happened. I mean, it was so cool, man, to be in the ring. I ain't been in the ring in about 5 or 6, 7. The last match I had was with The Miz.
Calgary Kid.
Yeah. And
yes.
It was actually in Jacksonville, because Snoop Dogg was always, we were buddies from, casual buddies. And I've always liked him, and I guess he was a fan of mine. But he was there. He introduced me to the ring that night. They did it with him and the Bella twins. They broke in and said, "No, your opponent tonight is the Miz." The Miz, he was telling the Miz, Marty, Jannetty, you were talking all that shit. I can almost remember word for word. You were talking all that stuff about Marty Jannetty, But you know what Marty Jannetty is? He's an Intercontinental Champion. He's a tag team champion. And you know what he is? LC is, he's your opponent tonight. And Miz is like, nah, bullshit. And then here I come. The music plays, and I go to the ring.
So cool.
And that was it for until 2005. I think that was in 98 or something. No, 99. No, I'm sorry. 2000. I don't know when it was.
It had to be,
Put it that way.
Had to be sometime in the 2000s, because it was the Miz.
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah, because Miz wasn't there. But
and then but it was so good. I remember behind the curtain waiting for the music play to go out. I was nervous as a mofo. And Shawn's like, "What is wrong with you? We've only done this for 40 years." I said, "They're gonna remember you. The worst thing as a wrestler you want to do, we call it walking out to a symphony of silence. Mm-hmm. There's no yays or no boos, just silence. That's the worst. Just boo me or don't be quiet." And I'm thinking it's going to be crickets. We're going to hear crickets. And Shawn's like, they're not going to forget us. Stop worrying. I said, they ain't going to forget you because you ain't left. He's been there. And I'm nervous about that, you know. And the music plays and they pop, and they're like, well, they remember the music and they think it's Shawn. Well, we come through and they just exploded, man. I was so happy that happened.
Yes.
Plus, it was good to hear again. I'm just gloating in it, and Shawn goes, okay, we got to go to the ring now. I was just standing there. And when we got in the ring, they did the chant, like you said, Marty, and it was like my hometown in Atlanta, Georgia, you know. So that made, I'm actually outside of Atlanta, but, you know, it's pretty much where I grew up. And them going, Marty, Marty, like I thought, oh, it felt so good.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
And that was that.
Awesome. Well, I think we got to get you back inside. Your
Yeah, I
manager,
don't even know
your
what
manager,
the original question was.
No, you answered it. It was about the reunion and how it happened.
Yeah.
And that was an awesome story. Thank you for sharing that,
Yes.
because I know that was like really dope about how he called you in your moment. I
Yeah.
want to thank you for doing this podcast. We really have been trying to get you for
Hey,
a
I
while,
appreciate y'all having me. You caring
Marty
enough about
Jannetty,
it?
Attitude Era podcast. We may have to cut some of that for the first time ever, but
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Well,
Thank
too
you so
long
much.